So I'm gonna try and do this really quickly because I don't have much time, but I want to do it. My life's a little chaotic right now, but for all good reasons. It is January 25th, 2023, and just to update for myself, but for everybody else who wants to know, I'm 8 years on testosterone. Wow, that's wild to think about. And then on February 18th, I will be 8 years post-op surgery. So nearing a decade, which is, it's wild to think about that and consider. So, what's been going on? Been still climbing a lot. Yeah, that consumes a lot of my life. It's what brings me joy, but also, working a lot, still just kind of happy. Yeah. And lately for some other projects, I've had to go back into the archive and look at photos, and then going through the photos, you find things that you made or things that you wrote, and it's just kind of strange to read that and see how depressed I was, and then compare that to now. It's interesting to think about. It really is true that things do get better. They often don't get better just on their own. You have to initiate and do things to make them better, and you have to be an active participant in your life, to direct the choices that lead to good and better things. But it does get better. I'm in the situation of Lifetime right now. The show is out. Some people may know about it, may not. I am on a TV show called The Climb on HBO Max, and it's a climbing competition show, and it's out. And I'm very proud to be representing the queer and trans community on that. I think it's important to note that like my experiences and my story as a queer and trans person are my own, and it is the viewer's responsibility not to directly project my experience onto that of other trans people. I think we forget that because representation is still so limited. Usually if you're out in whatever form, you become a spokesperson for the community. And we're all human, we're all different. But I'm very proud of that. If you haven't watched, go check it out. I'm definitely like some thoughts on it. I'm nervous. I've always been nervous about being so publicly visible, which may be strange for people watching because I've been public on YouTube and Instagram for so long and stuff, but that's a very, very small compared to this. I think it's also just to talk about for anyone who's not in the trans community, anyone who's an ally, to understand kind of the thought processes and the things that are different for if you're a trans person choosing to be extremely visible, the things that you have to think about. Like my mom and I have had conversations about safety and security, and I'm sure that the other people in the show, my best friends, have not had to have those conversations or even really think about it. Also, like, to the PR team and everyone kind of related to the show, Megan, Chris, the rest of the group, I sent out a cheat sheet, just like a cheat sheet to help them be able to be a part of the conversation around trans people, so that they can feel like they have the tools to do so and do so comfortably. And Megan sent me a wonderful message about saying, like, thank you for sending this. It's very insightful that you're already thinking this far ahead, because the message I sent her is just like to prepare for the inevitable backlash that will come from my participation on the show, and the comments regarding trans people that you will get on your own social medias. Here's how to deal with that. And it just kind of made me think it's like, it is very different. Like, I know that's not something that anyone would have thought about, but like I've been thinking about safety and frankly the hate that will come my way since I even started the casting process to be on the climb. And even before then, when I was like considering and doing American Ninja Warrior, I was thinking about that. So it's just like I just some insight on that I think is interesting. But the most important thing to know and to acknowledge for any trans people out there, anyone otherwise, is that there is an immensely large group of people who directly support you, and behind that are an even larger group of people who support you. And the people who actively comment hate and choose to incite violence, whether it is physical, emotional, through words, whatnot, is actually a very, very small group. But they have the microphone. They elicit drama, which in media sells. That sells the papers, that sells the subscriptions, that's what people read. And it's a very small group, but they're very loud. And what the important thing that we need to do and be prepared for is to know how to interact with these people and how to do it effectively. Because if we just ignore it, that communicates to the queer community, the trans community, that we tolerate this kind of behavior, which we don't. So that's kind of it. I'll check back in. I don't know when. Do I ever know when? I don't know. I think it just got me that like the future is coming, and it's wild and it's good. People say it all the time. It is kind of cliche, but I really never could have imagined myself here. Imagined where I am. It's very hard to, I think, plan the future. And that's a rude awakening when you learn that. And the best you can do is to kind of plan ahead. Don't just necessarily float through life, but be ready to adapt. And if something good is coming your way, to seize it. I'm still trying to learn that for sure. Yeah. Bye.